Hey, Brian. I'm just going to go with Jordan's last comment, and he said that despite disappointing, and it's not the outcome they wanted, but he said, "Hey, a takeaway is the team being more direct and also taking more chances." Obviously, you didn't get that chance to get the second goal. Would you say in that's a step forward from this game that happened, being direct?
Well, being direct, yeah, I didn't hear his comment, so I don't know in what context it was. But obviously he scored a goal by a direct play, and JP being in tune to the game, and we got behind him. But I think we missed Jordan in the first half another 3 or 4 times where we should have played him in. And even in the start of the second half, there were a couple of moments where he needed to, use his own power and strength to get in behind. He likes that. I mean, that's who he is. He scored the goal against St. Louis and here tonight on those transition moments. So that's what he's feeling.
You haven't looked at the film, but 71st minute or 72nd minute, Kyrie Shelton comes in and Elenis Vargas comes in for them. How much did that change the game as much as you can look at it right now?
Well, look, what changed the game was a red card. I mean, that was it. And, when I look at it, Reed's a young kid, but I have faith in him. The foul that he picked up in the first half, you know, how was that in his head? Did he remember in the second half? He was on a time limit and also on a VHID, HID limit, which he hadn't hit yet. So, I thought the kid was okay, but he makes a choice, and the second yellow comes out. It's going to happen with these young kids. Josh, earlier in Colorado, that was a little earlier. That was the 60th minute. I mean, it's learning curves for those kids, but unfortunately, those learning curves for these young kids who have a lot of potential, it hurts right now and in real time. So, he was pretty dejected after the game. We had to build him up a little bit. So we'll keep pushing ahead with them.
Okay, thanks.
Jada, we'll go to you next.
Thanks. I wanted to ask about Steph and him allowing that goal. Did he say anything, or can you kind of share what his thoughts were after?
He was dejected as well. It's a save he can make. But look, Jada, soccer is a team sport. When we changed to a back line of 5, the ball got split between, Tino and Cody. Cody needs to read that a little bit better. In a back line of 5, the ball can't get split there. And it's a tight angle. Steph normally is going to make that save.
And is there, obviously Reed's been doing well. So, I mean, was there any specific reason for starting him over Cody in place of Newman?
Yeah, because we feel that he gives us a little bit more in attack. And he is also, we had some one-on-one duels with Johnny Russell in the first half that he did well at. So we just think Reed has some high potential, and that was the reason for the start over Cody.
All right, Jeremiah, over to you. Excuse me.
Yeah, you sort of alluded to this with maybe taking Reed off a little earlier. I don't know how much heavy legs would have been playing. This is his first start, 73rd minute. He's carrying a yellow card. Was there much thought of taking him out? And just generally, how would you judge yourself and how you managed this game? And there hadn't been any subs up to that point.
Well, Reed specifically was on a time limit, but more importantly, what we do, Jeremiah, with all the fancy gadgets that they wear on their backs, he was still under his HID and VHID. He was carrying a yellow. I totally get that. In hindsight, it's always 20/20. He was going to come off at 75. That was the decision that was made. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate. How do I grade myself? I'll do it as I always do. I have a process after games. I'll watch the film. I'll see what I could have done better, or we could have coached better, what I said at halftime, and we'll go through that process.
Reminder to media, if you have a question, please go ahead and hit that raise hand function button. Next, we'll go over to Jose Moreno.
Brian, the complexity of the game really changed after that red card, though. Prior to that, you guys were playing pretty well and created opportunities. how would you, prior to that, rate the team, their performance, their ability to withstand the elements in the Sporting KC attack?
So the elements, let's get that one out of the way. It was a beautiful night here. I mean, the temperature was a little high, but the humidity was okay. The shadows were on the field. The grass is in perfect shape. It had nothing to do with the elements. I think, the rhythm that we had established in the first 10, 12 minutes of the game before Jordan's goal was good. We had talked about being a little more direct, like, Jordan had said, but we also said, can we bypass their pressure? Because we knew they were a desperate team. We knew they were going to press higher up the field. And I think in that first spell, it was good. And then that goal that we gave up just seemed to give them life. And then Jose, it got into kind of a 50-50 battle. We gave the ball away a few too many times for my liking. Yes, we had some half chances. We should have put Jordan in 3 or 4 more times. He was in clean on goal. We just didn't see him or couldn't complete the pass. So again, it's just been kind of the storyline of our season. We can't get that second goal or the third goal, or somehow put teams out of reach earlier.
All right, I see a couple of follow-ups here, which is fine. Maz, we'll go to you next.
Yeah, Brian, to start out the second half, Jordan went down the left flank there and had a beautiful pass across the goal mouth that nobody that went begging. That was one. I think you're referring to what you're saying. And then the other one, it looked like you pushed Reed Baker Whiting up a little bit. Is that correct? Just in terms of to push more offense there, was just an organic shift?
Yeah, because look, Johnny Russell's a good attacking player, and so Shaloy. They flop sides every now and again, but we wanted Reed to use his strengths. And so when he dribbled around a couple guys and he got inside the penalty box, he needs to find a guy in there, and that changes the outcome of the game. If we score there in that moment, then then things change.
All right, Jeremiah, I see your hand raised as well. Go for it, please.
Yeah, I guess just specifically about Raul, what did you feel like you were getting from him today?
Well, he wasn't involved as much as I would have liked. I think he, the penalty shout, maybe he went down a little too easy. But he stayed up on his feet, maybe. I think he was looking for that a little bit. I don't know, what the final outcome is going to be with Raul, but obviously the team's not doing well, and we're going to have to think of changes. So we'll see. Again, Jeremiah there, I'll assess the tape. We're just right after the game. I haven't watched it, but my gut feeling is we need a little bit more out of him, out of Albert, out of Christian, out of Jordan, out of Steph, out of Jackson, Yaimar. We need more out of our senior players.
Anybody else looking for hands? Just making sure. Jeremiah, was that it from you?
I mean, I'll ask another one. I sort of asked this to the team. You guys have been pretty good about avoiding results like this one. The last month especially. This is now, I think, 12 drop points from winning positions for the season, though. I mean, how much of a setback is a day like this, especially when you give a team on a 10-game winless run a come from behind win?
Jeremiah, it hurts. The RSL game hurt. Vancouver game hurt. They all hurt. It's been a tough go.
All right, Maz, I see. I'll let you have the last one here.
Sure, Brian, just to go back in terms of the senior players, I know you said you need more from them. Effort, is it the clinicality of it? Just all of it?
They don't quit. You saw that. They don't quit. But we need guys to make plays. We need guys to make plays earlier in games to, really be able to dictate tempo. So it's not the effort. They give everything.
Practice, lastly, in practice, we talked about it. You had them kind of do this drill where they could look at recognition and making that play. Do you now have to kind of look back and say, what else can you do to enhance that?
We'll look, the process of reviewing the film and getting a good game plan now for Minnesota is already in the works. We will certainly, learn from this game. But when you take a red card, it kind of throws some of that stuff out. The learning curve from, RSL, the learning curve, or the, luck we needed, or how did we close out St. Louis and not RSL? Those are the things we were trying to work on this week. But again, the red card, interrupted some of that.
Sorry, Brian, one more. So when you get a red card in a game, does it become 2 games then that you look at? Because what you have to do when you're down 10, as opposed to when you had.
Look, we were trying to keep some belief in the team. You start 4-4-1, then, 85 minutes in, you want to just steal a point on the road. That's why we went to the back line of 5. And, you play 5-3-1, keep it center forward high. Again, we just didn't accomplish that.
Thank you.